Hey there, YouTubes. So, it's a beautiful evening here in Ohio. Let's have a chit chat. Somebody who I'm very close to and I had a discussion about religion. Well, he discussed his spiritual path with Jehovah, the God of Abraham. He follows the second of the three major Abrahamic religions. And he described how when he was a young man, he was kind of lost in life, and he reached out to Jehovah and asked what should he do in life, and within a similar time period asked about the particular woman he would go on to marry. And both times he got a very positive feeling, and he felt like he had gotten an answer direction in life. Now, early reach outs to deities like this are common, and feelings of direction, of positive reinforcement are very common, both in the Abrahamic and across multiple religions. Paganism, I like to call these wins or gifts. And I've had several of my own when it comes to my own spiritual path in paganism. So anyway, my buddy went on to describe a very critical moment in life much later on when his spouse was having a medical crisis and nearly died. And one of his children threatened suicide. One of his young children at that had threatened suicide had his spouse died. And so he doubled down on his religion, and he drew closer to Jehovah and made a vow to walk a more tight and narrow path with Jehovah. And from then on, he got wins at very critical points, both professionally and personally. But the thing is, I know this man. I know him quite personally. And I know some things where Jehovah should have been there and was not. Particularly when his wife had the same medical crises again, and Jehovah did not prompt him to act, move, listen, call an ambulance. Thankfully enough, his wife made it through. His subsequent young child has grown up and made it through a lot of the deep-seated mental health issues that prompted that child to possibly commit suicide when they were very young had the spouse not survived. But does anybody else see what I see as a blaring spotlight, neon sign, glowing, warning, warning, flashy, flashy in his story? Wait a minute, you're telling me that your deity was going to kill your wife and your child had you not grown closer to him? Had you not taken vows to go closer to him? What's up, Job? As some of you may know, in the Bible, well, the story of Job is that Jehovah, who made the devil, Jehovah created the devil, flat out. It's in the mythology. It's in the text. Jehovah created the devil. And so Jehovah had a follower named Job. Job was a very prosperous dude, both professionally and personally. And the devil, Satan, Lucifer, whatever you want to call him, said, oh, well, the reason why he follows you, Jehovah, is because you have given him all these blessings and whatnot. Why don't you let me mess with him? And so Jehovah consented to let the devil go ahead and kill a couple of family members, cause a lot of shit in Job's life. That's abuse. Yeah, Job doubled or tripled down on his religious experience with Jehovah. But Jehovah consented to let the devil harm Job. And going back to my family member, you doubled down on your religion because your deity threatened to kill your wife and your kid. That's abuse. And you deserve better. He deserves better. He's a good man. He is a good partner. He is a good provider to his spouse and his family. His family never went hungry. And at his heart, he has a good heart. But I almost want to cry over it, knowing that he's in an abusive relationship with his deity. Your deity threatened to kill your wife and your daughter, your wife and your kid, because you wouldn't draw close to him, or to draw you closer to him. I mean, how is this any different than an abusive spouse? How is that any different than an abusive relationship of another kind? And how's that any different than somebody threatening to harm an individual unless they do what they want? And if you look at the Abrahamic religion, it happens quite a bit. Do what I tell you or I'm gonna hurt you. That's an abusive relationship. And dude, no. Most people deserve better than that. My buddy, my family member, deserves better than that. During my apprenticeship, some of the things that I learned was that a relationship with a deity should be positive. We give him respect, we give him glory, we have our conversations, and it's based on mutual respect and benefit. The gods get what they view as benefits out of our relationship with them. We get benefit back. And even if that's simply a little bit more calmness, a little bit more direction in life, it's a positive thing, not based on threats. I'm upset over it because I know this man. He's a good man. And to know that what made him draw closer to his deity was a threat? Was abuse? No. And again, if you look at the second of the three Abrahamic religions from an objective point of view, from an outsider's perspective, you see this frequently. Jehovah is abusive to people. Jehovah is an abusive being. I mean, he killed several million people and gloats about it in the tale of Noah's Ark? Jehovah didn't set things up to not cause harm to humans in the story of the Garden of Eden. Nowhere in that tale does it say, and there were sharp rocks around the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and there was a foul smell, and there were all these things that would make an early human not want to go near this tree. And, again, subsequently, kind of like the same thing that happened with Job and getting messed with by the devil. Time and time again, you see Jehovah consenting or causing or being the direct inspiration of pain and suffering to humans. And I'm not just talking about in the Bible. What about all the bloody slaughtering that happened between the Crusades, the burnings, and Charlemagne, Karl Mann, as some might call him, and what has happened to the indigenous people in North, South, and all around the other parts of the world, all because of pushing the deity of Abraham, pushing Jehovah on other people. How many people have been slaughtered because they would not convert? Or, join me or I will hurt you. No, that's abuse. Humanity deserves better. My buddy deserves better. So I just need to let that off my chest. And if he ends up seeing this video, I'm sure it's going to lead to another conversation. And I really do hope that he takes these words and meditates over them and tries to see things from my perspective on this matter. I'm not trying to deconvert anybody. I'm just trying to give perspective on Jehovah and how he's really an abusive deity. And humanity, my buddy, all deserve better. Peace out.